Hello, everyone, and welcome to the new and improved Fox Den. As you can probably tell by our new channel name, you can tell who's already joining me for this.
Hello.
That's right. We just decided to combine. We decided both to make this our channel instead of mine. It makes things a little more simpler.
Mhm.
Anyways, everyone, this will be a little special one. Comes out straight from the mind of Laz herself. So she'll be taking most of the forefront while I take the back seat in this one.
Unless I get stuck on a party assist.
Yep. Of course I will. Now then, everyone, just like normal, sit back, relax, and enjoy the story. But first, in this world, dragons and such other mythical creatures are reality. Some hidden amongst plain sight, some in the hero working for heroes or villains, some working as maids. This story follows one such dragon with a red hair companion.
Yeah, I actually did it.
Yeah.
Alright, well, we'll start off in a forest near UA where a certain redheaded early adult, except for kind of old Miss Kobayashi is.
I think she's around her early 20s.
Yeah, so early adult. And so early adult is drinking, wasted drunk, walking up these mountain because of a sighting of a monster or villain and that she was told to go check out. So we have her walking for about 30 minutes up this mountain. She stops at a green dragon that's staring at her. It has a big sword with a black hilt stuck in its leg. This red-headed companion, being wasted, offers the dragon a drink. The dragon is reluctant, calling this red-headed companion a mindless human. Until, after 10 minutes of arguing with said dragon, the drunk companion climbs up the dragon, grabs the sword, and pulls and pulls till the blade is finally out of the dragon's leg. And the dragon goes or shrinks down into a humanoid state. They start drinking. Miss Kobayashi, or, well, you already know who it is. Miss Kobayashi says, "Do you have anywhere to live?" The dragon companion says no. So Miss Kobayashi asks, "You can live with me, dragon." And then we arrive at Miss Kobayashi the next day, waking up in her bed, hearing the doorbell go off. When she walks up, opens the door, she sees a giant green dragon staring at her. That same dragon turns back to human state in a maid outfit. And
As they'll see on screen.
mhm. And that dragon walks inside. Kobayashi follows, confused, and sits at a table. As Miss Kobayashi asks, "Who are you?" the dragon says, "My name is Tohru, and I'm here because you said I could live with you last night." This Kobayashi being confused and trying to think back, and finally remembering the night she had on the mountain. And she thinks like, "Oh God, what have I gotten myself into? My quiet life is ruined." So she asks, "What's with the maid outfit?" Tohru responds that I read a few comics and apparently you humans like maids. And as Kobayashi asks Tohru, "Do you even know how to be a maid?" Tohru shows her some things Miss Kobayashi has to fix her and show her actually how humans eat. So Miss Kobayashi doesn't eat Toru's tail. And after a while complaining, these random people open up the door, and Tohru, not knowing who they are, would send a fire blast through the doorway, not hurting the humans, but going in the air and exploding. Miss Kobayashi would get onto her, Tohru. Tohru saying, "Oh, it's okay, I can just erase the memory of this event." So after Tohru does that, they relax, talking about how Tohru got here and all that. And this is where I believe you, Fox, to take over this part.
Then we cut over to UA in the headmaster's office with Nezu. While the scene where the fire blast happens, Nezu sees a light emanating from Miss Kobayashi's building, and goes through his files about Miss Kobayashi, saying that her quirk is currently unawakened, and this might be her an explosive awakening. So he decides this might be a good opportunity to get her on the staff of UA. So he calls up Aizawa, and when Aizawa arrives at the office, Nezu simply tells Aizawa that we're going to this building at this address to go recruit a new teacher. Aizawa, being Aizawa, begrudgingly follows, and Nezu hops into his scarf as they make their way towards Miss Kobayashi's building. After about 30 minutes or so, they arrive and knock on the door.
Miss Kobayashi then would walk up to the door, open it, seeing a hobo-looking man in a scarf, and seeing a head pop out of the scarf. That's when they back to you.
Aizawa introduces himself by saying, "Hello, my name is Shoto Aizawa, and I'm actually here with the headmaster of UA to talk about a new job opportunity for you."
Miss Kobayashi then would respond with, "What do you mean, job opportunity? And why me?"
As Nezu pops his head out and asks, may we come in and I'll explain everything?"
Sure. And she would just yell, "Tohru, can you make some tea? We have guests." And everyone would hear, "Can do."
Aizawa
And
would then ask about who's she.
Miss Koji saying, a friend of mine. She lives with me."
As Aizawa would then explain his hatred for roommates.
Miss Kobayashi would say, "I can get that. I like quiet. But Tohru's not that bad.
As Nezu is already somehow has tea, just sitting down on a little stool next to the coffee table.
Tohru will come out with tea, put one in front of Aizawa, Kobayashi, and then sit next to Kobayashi.
As Nezu then explained, saying, "We saw this strange light coming from your apartment complex."
And this first thing, what light?
It's more like a fire type thing, and I believe I've gone through your files, Miss Kobayashi, and it says here that your quirk was unawakened, but it's called mana manipulation.
Okay, so what does this have to do with you being here?
Well, I have a proposition for you.
Go on.
I want you to come to UA and teach the general studies, and while you're teaching, we'll teach you how to handle your quirk.
And they all of a sudden would just feel like an aura surrounding the room. Everyone would just stare at Tohru.
Aizawa pipe out saying, "Is she okay with you working at UA?"
Miss Kochi would respond with, "She's like a guard, you can say, towards me. So if I'm not around, she will find me. So if you don't want to get hurt, she has to come with me."
Nezu simply says, "I can have that arranged."
Okay. Sure, I guess.
As Nezu says, and stands his hands towards Miss Kobayashi and says, "It'll be a pleasure to have you teach UA, Miss Kobayashi."
As she would grab the little mouse creature's hand and shake it. Likewise, as long as just this doesn't mess with my sleep, we'll be just fine.
As Aizawa gives a thumbs up.
And it's like Tohru would just randomly pull out some like alcohol and give it to Miss Kobayashi. As Miss Kobayashi would just say, "So is that the only reason you two came here?"
Nezu would explain, "Yes, that is the reason why."
Alright, and one more question. When do I start?
Tomorrow, if possible.
Alright. I can do that.
After all, the entrance exams were today, so you get to see some new students tomorrow.
Miss Kobayashi would just say, like, "I really hope there's no loudmouths."
As Aizawa's face pales.
And Miss Kobayashi would be like, "You okay,
I have all
hobo?"
Aizawa would answer saying, "I have all the loudmouths and troublemakers."
I feel bad for you.
Especially this one kid with anger issues.
Oh no.
As
I'm
Nezu
sorry.
just hops onto Aizawa's shoulder and waves off saying, "I'll see you tomorrow."
Likewise. What was your name again?
My name is Nezu, and this is Shota Aizawa, also known as the Underground Pro Hero Eraserhead.
Okay, got your names. Good. See you tomorrow. I'ma go drink and take a nap.
Don't come to work with a hangover. Don't be
You
like
read my.
this. Don't be like this idiot as he elbows Aizawa in the head.
I like the idiot. Fits my style.
As they simply just leave and quietly closing the doors, feeling Toru's bloodlust,
Mm-hmm.
and walk
And
back to UA.
yeah, and as the day would go on, Miss Kobayashi just learning more about Tohru, how she got there, like what happened, and why she seems so attached to Miss Kobayashi. So the next day would come around, and Miss Kobayashi got ready. Tohru got on her maid outfit, as usual.
But this time of a different coloration, being UA's school colors.
As then Miss Kobayashi and Tohru both walk at the door and start walking to UA. When they finally get there around 30 minutes and reach Principal Nezu's office, they knock on the door.
As this lady with white spandex wearing some sort of black corset answers the door and says, "Hello, who might be you two be?"
We're supposed to be. Well, I'm supposed to be the new teacher of 1C, I think he said.
Ah, so you're Miss Kobayashi.
Yeah, that's me.
Well, my name's Narumi, also known as the Pro Hero of Midnight.
Oh, the R8 rated here I heard about so much.
Yes, and might do I say, you look pretty beautiful.
Thank you.
Well, I'll show you. Since Nezu's currently out making a deal with another pro hero about teaching here, I'll show you down to 1C.
Okay.
Follow me.
As they would follow Midnight to the room, which would take maybe, say, 5 minutes?
I'll say 5 minutes because after all, Miss Kobayashi's not going to get lost.
Yeah.
But with Tohru getting immense bloodlust all the way there. And probably thinking to yourself, why this lady think who does this lady think she is? Basically off getting yandere vibes.
Totally.
As they reach the door, Midnight just waves them off, saying, like, good luck with teaching your class today.
I was like, thanks. As she would go inside with Toru.
And as the students arrive, one student in particular catches Miss Kobayashi's eye. A boy with messy purple hair, who looks almost exactly the same has exactly the same sleep depravity as Izawa.
As she would read through the names and find Toshi Shinzo.
Quirk, brainwashing.
Yep.
Shinzo is basically trying to. He's sitting in the back right corner of the class in this little isolated seat he's made for himself.
So after, when the class is supposed to, she does roll call and starts teaching them all about the stuff about being a hero.
Even though general studies mostly focus on like normal education.
Yeah. And they learn some stuff about being a hero.
They learn about the history of heroes.
Yeah. So after about an hour, the class ends.
And the intercom goes off.
Yep.
Saying, Miss Kobayashi and Miss Tohru, your presence are required at 1A to help the teacher Shoto Aizawa with his test.
And Miss Kobayashi just looks at Toru and like, we got the loud mouse to deal with, don't we? Toru's just like, yeah, we do.
As you can feel some hatred coming from from Shinzo when he heard the name 1A.
And Miss Kobayashi's like, I'm gonna need some alcohol after this. She just turns around to Toru and is like, you brought some, didn't you?
As Sora pulls out a 16-liter of vodka.
And Miss Kobayashi's like, thank you. And they both just start walking to class one, Tohru holding the liquor bottle.
As they get there, the door explodes open with Bakugo begrudgingly following the rest of the class. If I saw him walking out afterward with done with his class's shit already.
As Miss Kobayashi and Tohru to walk next to him. Like, troubled kids?
Very. That student you just saw blow open the door tried to murder half the class.
Well, we got you a little gift.
What that might be?
Tohru, hand me the liquor.
Aizawa's eyes sparkled from hearing it.
Tohru just pulls out a like 16-liter vodka bottle, hands it to Miss Kobayashi. As Miss Kobayashi says, we can split this.
As Aizawa whispers, "Thank you. My break's coming up next, between the next lesson and the third lesson, so we'll share then."
Gotcha.
As they proceed to walk down to the PE area with Aizawa leading the other two.
And as the three are just waiting on the class to finish changing when they get there.
Tohru can hear a vibration of a slap.
And Tohru's just like, what?
In the back of Tohru's mind, she's thinking there might be a perv in the class. Must protect Miss Kobayashi at all costs.
Mm-hmm.
And as the Class 1A slowly trickles out of the door.
With Aizawa saying his signature speech. We're doing a quick analysis.
We're doing a quick analysis exam, and whoever has line up here, we're going to do a ball throw first, and whoever plays the highest on the entrance exam will be going first.
As he calls Bakugo up.
And Bakugo throws it, saying that he's better than everyone else here, and they all know it. He's been better than All Might. Because in this AU, we're going to make Bakugo a little more cocky. He doesn't want to be as good as All Might. He wants to be better than him. And his superiority complex is increased since Deku is not there.
Yep.
And as he throws it, he gets the same as Cannon, but slightly less, as doesn't have to train due to Izuku not being there.
So he would get like 649. Yeah, 49. As the new would pop up, oh, we get to use our quirks? This is gonna be fun. Aizawa smirks. This is fun.
This is fun, huh? Then how about we make a little wager for you all? Whoever has the least amount of points by the end of this will be expelled.
And all of them are groaning like, Yogg, that's not fair. And I'm like, and as Aizawa says, life ain't fair. My class, my rules.
It's my class, my rules. And do you really think the villains out there will give you a fair chance?
As they would go through the exam, getting the same Cannon, Mineta being last.
But
should we expel Mineta?
And I have an idea for that.
Okay.
As Mineta is about to throw the ball, he sees Tohru and gets distracted. And throws the ball, but it flies straight towards Miss Kobayashi's face.
As Tohru immediately grabs Miss Kobayashi, moves her out the way. The ball missing Miss Kobayashi by maybe 2 inches, I'll say. Hitting the back wall. And all Aizawa would feel was this immense bloodlust as he looks at Tohru, with Tohru just giving a death stare at Mineta.
Aizawa thinks like, shit, if I don't expel him, she's gonna kill him. So Aizawa sighs and says, Mineta, you scored 0, and you will have the lowest already, I can tell. So I'm expelling you right now.
As Mineta would bust in tears, change back into his normal clothes, and run out.
Crying that you didn't see the girls naked.
As I would hear that and be like, now I'm glad I expelled him.
As Tohru hears that,
Tohru immediately like clenches her fist. With Carol, she would just be like, calm down, Tohru. Don't kill him.
as Baku would hear this, like, who's killing who? I bet that lizard lady can kill anyone he's tried. She's nothing compared to me.
And Miss Kobayashi just like whispers to Aizawa, you got some plan for this, right?
Aizawa whispers back saying, yes, I do.
Good.
And hands
Make
Tohru the ball saying, Tohru, since there are students here don't know their place, let's show them what a teacher can do.
As Tohru looked at Aizawa, how would you like me to put them in their place?
One up them in every category in this test.
Hand me the ball.
As Aizawa hands Tohru the ball.
Tohru would look at Baku and just say, I won't even use much. I am only going to use my arm and physical strength.
As Baku was saying, like, ha! You're probably just gonna get very low if you're not using your quirk.
She would just look at Miss Kobayashi and just say, you and Aizawa stand back. Mr. Aizawa confused and just looks at Miss Kobayashi and she's like, yeah, we better stand back.
As they both back up to the edge to the building, the school building.
As Tohru would just, like, dragon scales would cover her right arm. As she would just throw the ball as hard, not as hard as she can, but I want to say 4/16 strength.
That should be fair enough.
Which would, I will say, get, since Tohru, let's put it to like 40,000, why not?
Let's make it a 50,000 to emphasize the gap between them.
Yeah, okay, 50,000. As Aizawa would come back over Miss Kobayashi and show the measurement.
Bakugo doing what he would do in canon and decides to charge after Tohru, saying, die, you useless lizard.
Tohru, waiting for me to get close enough, when he tries, Tohru just sidesteps and kicks his leg, making him fall face first.
And for a little bit of comedy, after he was doing that, was about to explode and explodes his own face.
Mm-hmm. And she would just walk back over to Aizawa.
As Aizawa would say, so, did anyone learn anything for today?
With, I think it'd be, Ida would say this. Would say, don't mess with that girl.
As Aizawa would say, and what else?
Don't overcompensate yourself.
As Aizawa would say, exactly. Heroes should stay to their better selves. Don't let pride get in your way. Doesn't matter how strong or weak you are. As long as you're there to help people, that's what we do.
As I would say, alright, time for your break. Go to lunch or do whatever.
I don't care.
As
As he pulls out a sleeping bag and decides to go into it.
Yeah. Tohru just like looking at him like, and then look back to Kobayashi. So he's a caterpillar. He's probably just like tries not to laugh, but it's like, no, that's a sleeping bag, Tohru. Oh,
Aizawa stands up and just hobbles to the two.
Miss Kobayashi will look at Aizawa. You want the drink?
Yes, please.
As Miss Kobayashi looks at Tohru like, cups, please. As from out of nowhere, Tohru just pulls out cups, sets them down, and starts pouring.
And while they're sitting down and pouring, having a drink, someone's watching Tohru blushing.
And that person we're not gonna reveal yet, but
This person has blonde hair with a blonde hair shaped like an explosion.
yeah. And after they finish like the bottle in a few seconds, Miss Kobayashi looks at Tohru like, I know you have more. Tohru like, yeah, I do.
Aizawa's eyes perk up, saying, "Any more would help me get through the day."
Miss Kobayashi looks at her like, yeah, she's kind of my maid, and she kind of totes around everything without it being visible.
Aizawa says, "I'm not even gonna question it. With this society, anything's possible."
Yeah, so, Ozawa, here's a question. What kind of alcohol would you want to drink?
Aizawa looks towards Miss Kobayashi with this determined face, saying, "I know you can handle strong, so let's go the strongest we can go."
Okay. As she looks to her like, Tohru? Get it. As Tohru just reached behind her back, like, pull out Fireball, like, we'll say some moonshine, because why not?
And in the anime, the Dragon Slayer sake.
Dragon Slayer sake, and just put him down in front of Tohru and be like, pick one, I'll pour it.
As Aizawa starts pointing to Dragon Slayer, saying, I haven't tried that brand yet."
Ooh, going gutsy, I see. As Tohru gets a little smaller glass, Aizawa questioning why, as she pours it, as Aizawa, I think, Aizawa would ask Miss Kobayashi, why did she get a smaller cup for this one? I'll let you explain that part.
As Miss Kobayashi would explain that this is a strong blend, so it would only be natural if we take it slow. But
And
as Miss Kobayashi picks up the glass and hands it back to Tohru, she simply says, "But small is not our thing."
I'm like, okay, whatever you say. She gets the bigger cup and pours it in, hands it to Aizawa. See how you like it. And gives one Miss
Aizawa just takes one big gulp.
Tohru just waiting for his like response.
As nothing happens.
So Tohru just keeps on pouring, giving it to both of them.
And after the 20th shot, Aizawa is finally drunk.
And Tohru has been drinking with them occasionally, having a few cups.
One every 4 cups.
Yeah, more of like a bigger scale because I would say she can handle a lot more.
She's secretly an Irish dragon.
No.
I mean, she's
Wait,
voice
how do we
acted by
know?
Irish.
Well, fair. Yes, she can be. Yes, girl will say she's Irish.
an Irish folklore dragon.
True. Okay, then after, I would say after break, they would be just sitting in the classroom
Because
looking.
Miss Kobayashi's second class being taught by midnight.
And so, as I was chuckling, and Miss Kobayashi like, why are you laughing? As Mr. Aizawa would say, I'm not teaching this class. It's all my who's teaching. But I might watch because there are students short.
As Tohru raises her hand saying, I can volunteer to put these students in their place.
As Mr. Aizawa just smiles and Miss Kobayashi's like, oh no.
Aizawa in a drunken tone saying, do whatever you feel is necessary.
Yeah. And then, so after all the students get in the classroom, get in their proper seats, they're waiting, and
Miss
the question was finally
Kobayashi
asked.
is currently gone in the staff room, where we cut over to there with All Might entering the staff room by mistake.
Yeah, which they would turn around like, what are you doing here?
As All Might's like, wait, is this class 1A?
This is the staff lobby.
As All Might rose the back of his head, saying like, I know I should have read the map.
Do you need us to take you there?
As All Might simply just nods his head, not trying to say anything.
For
Not being
us.
extremely embarrassed.
As they will lead him to class 1A, open the door, walk in with All Might. All Might wouldn't do his walk in, his loud ass speech because
he embarrassed himself earlier.
Yep. So he just walks in and be like, that says you can't be heroes without your costumes, as the costumes would come out. Everyone would get their costumes, change, and they would meet in the
ground
beta. Field. Yeah, ground beta. As All Might, Tohru, Kobayashi, and Aizawa is laughing in the corner.
As All Might doesn't know why they're laughing, he's just laughing along.
As they all get there, and All Might's like, we're doing a 2v2 heroes versus villain. And I am going to choose the teams by random by pulling names out of this hat.
As
all the teams
to be canon.
Yeah, except
for Uraraka being placed in a team of 3.
And they'd be confused and be like, ask All Might, why are we in a team of 3?
As he points to Aizawa, saying Aizawa has a special opponent to face against Bakugo Katsuki and Ida Tenya. As the two would walk over to, Aizawa and ask him who they were fighting, he simply points to Tohru.
Tohru is sitting there like with a smirk, as all they would see is Kobayashi tap her shoulder and be like, don't kill them. You can break a bone, just don't kill them.
As All Might questions Miss Kobayashi about that, saying, why do you mean why do you tell her not to kill them?
As Miss Kobayashi would be like, if I let her go full out, that building would no longer be there.
As All Might pales to thinking how powerful this lizard girl could be.
And that's her holding back.
All Might just simply he's physically sweating now, saying, okay.
That's also a note for yourself. Don't try to attack me or she might break you.
As All Might just simply says, okay, let's get the class started, shall we?
Sure.
As the names go to canon, because this time around it's not Bakugo going first. It's they're the last team, as all those stuff go to canon. But this time around, it being weird due to Momo actually being the one that actually does most of the work, unlike Denki.
So we get to the final fight. As Uraraka, Ida, Bakugo, a lone team going to set up the bomb. Tohru waiting outside the building. As all you hear is Miss Kobayashi yelling, remember what I told you.
As she simply says in a cutesy tone saying, hi.
And All Might would say, in a kind of shaky voice, because he's still shaken up about what he heard, And he's like, okay, begin. As Tohru would walk in the building, looking around for the bomb,
As she can hear explosions down the hall.
as she just is walking towards it without a care in the world.
And Bakugo, just like he can, flies around the corner and tries to, well, sucker punch Tohru.
Tohru would respond with pulling it, Deku grabbing his arm, but not slamming him on the floor, just slams Bakugo into the wall, denting it. As Bakugo would not be knocked out, but
he manages to get up and tries to fight back.
Yeah. And after a while of him, his ego started taking over, as he would grab the pin on his gauntlet and
says what he did in canon, saying, "Let's see if you can survive this."
Bakugo, not noticing that Tohru was charging something up. As he released his pin, the explosion went off.
And
Tohru
before
would
that happens, though, All Might
Yeah.
is trying to call over not to do that, but he's stopped by Miss Kobayashi saying, "Trust Tohru."
Yeah, and as the Tohru gets done charging, a fire breath is launched at Bakugo at the same time. That is, and when the dust is cleared, All Might's like, what happened?
As Bakugo is flown outside the building.
And All Might's like, looks at Miss Kobayashi, what happened?
As Miss Kobayashi says, I know.
As Tohru get up to the bomb is where Uraraka and Ida are. With it not being broken like it was in canon, Uraraka can't do anything and is trying to depend on a fighting style, which she hasn't been trained yet in.
Mm-hmm.
So she got slapped by Tohru's tail, making her go unconscious.
And blown straight into a wall.
Mm-hmm. And then Ida tried to attack Tohru, kicked her for it to do nothing, but what happened was his armor, whatever he wears, would shatter. It would shatter like it was paper or plastic.
As Ida recovers and starts doing his hit robo hand, saying like, "This is a family armor. How dare you ruin it?"
Tohru's just like, I should care why, as she would just do kind of what she did in the anime and just punch him to the ground. He would probably go through like 2 floors.
Let's say 1 because so he doesn't heavily injure.
Yeah.
Ida.
Okay, so 1 floor, and she touched the bomb. Be like, I did what you asked.
As she basically picks, as Miss Kobayashi says over the intercom, to take the 3 to the infirmary.
As Tohru would grow her little dragon wings on her back, grab the 3.
Well, grab Ida and Uraraka first, as she flies out to grab Bakugo. He wakes up and looks around, and then realizes he's outside and says, "Damn it, I want lost again."
Tohru would pick him up with her tail and fly into Recovery Girl's office through the window. And Recovery Girl opens it, she fly in, put them on the beds, and like, the Recovery Girl, training exercise. And then fly back out.
As they're flying out, she's basically just saying, she's probably stronger than most of the heroes here.
And then she just fly back to Miss Kobayashi, walk back inside and be like, was that good enough?
As Miss Kobayashi proceeds to head pat Tohru.
Which she would put on like a cute face, and her dragon tail would wag back and forth a bit.
As, of course, the gossip girl Mina starts just saying on the background.
Mm-hmm. All Might like, you said you told her to hold back, right? Miss Kobayashi being like, yes. That wasn't even kind of a quarter of her strength. All Might being like, note to self, don't mess with her. As the day would end that day.
And right before she leaves, she decides to talk. Miss Kobayashi decides to talk with Shinzo to ask why he has so much hatred.
Yeah.
As Shinzo is called to her office, he sits down and proceeds to talk with Miss Kobayashi.
In which Shinzo would explain why he hates women.
About how all their quirks are too flash. All the quirks are flashy, and that's the reason why they got in. As Aizawa would be hearing this from outside the door because he wanted to give Miss Kobayashi a gift, being his own brand of alcohol, Eraser Brew, which is the strongest known ale.
And then Miss Kobayashi would be like, you're right about their quirks being flashy. But you do know a lot of the heroes now, a bunch don't have flashy quirks. As she would bring up, like, Eraserhead, for example. He doesn't have a flashy quirk. He technically fights quirkless. And which she would say, if you work on your physical body, not just your quirk, you could be a great hero. Which Shinzo, I think, would take to heart.
And from outside, Aizawa was also smiling, thinking to himself, she really is a kind-hearted woman.
And Tohru would come out with a book and give it to Shinzo, like a beginning routine of how to work out his body and some martial arts styles he could try. Tohru saying, try these to start out with, and if you need more, come back and we can give you another book.
As Shinzo expresses his gratitude, saying thank you, and proceeds to call Miss Kobayashi. Well, I'll see you later, big sis Kobayashi.
And Kobayashi like, big sis? Huh. Wow.
As Aizawa hears Shinzo run to the door and proceeds to hide, as Shinzo exits and closes the door and runs off, saying, "I'll train my hardest for you too."
As they both say, make us proud.
And a couple minutes later, Aizawa knocks on the door.
I'll just Kobayashi say, come in.
As Aizawa was saying, "So I see you two have really made some heartfelt impressions on the students."
Yeah.
And to commemorate your first day, Aizawa pulls out a box that says "Erasing Danger."
And then she was going to be like, I see you got taste.
As he says, "Of course, this is my brand after all."
I had Tohru make you something as well. That's a gift on our part for the trouble of probably recovery girl nagging you.
Aizawa says back as he said, "She wouldn't give up for an hour."
Yeah, Tohru, go get him. As Tohru would bring out a box, and as I would ask, what's in the box? As Tohru would lift it, showing cat-like cookies and sweets with a special coffee brew for Aizawa.
As he proceeds to hug in a side hug, like a bro hug, so Tohru doesn't kill him, saying thank you.
Tohru would probably respond with like, "It's no problem. You have to deal with those loudmouths that drove my master up a wall."
As Aizawa says, yeah, they're gonna be annoying to deal with, but if I ever need help dealing with them, can I call on you two?
As Tohru just look at him like, "Gladly, I don't mind putting them back in their place. And if you ever need them to shut up, I'm sure they'll be quiet if I enter the room."
As Aizawa chuckles, saying, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure." As he also says, "I'm glad you two are really the only two real friends I've had, besides loudmouth President Mike."
Oh yeah, I met him earlier. He burst out my eardrums.
And Tohru is still recovering from it.
As Miss Gertrude would say, does he ever realize that he doesn't have to use his quirk all the time?
As Aizawa says, "That's the thing. He haven't stopped using his quirks since I was in school with him."
Oh god.
And it makes it worse since he always wears his hero costume that amplifies his voice tenfold.
What have I got myself into?
You and me both.
As Miss Coucher just looked at the schedule, so we have this USJ thing tomorrow.
Yes, it's a USJ. The USJ is a facility to teach the young heroes about unforeseen events and natural disasters and how to combat them.
Yeah, so we're taking them after lunch. Got it.
Which means, and I also got yelled at by Nezu, which means we can't drink tomorrow either. Since
Well,
there'll be around dangerous environments, and so we have to be full focus.
as you're just like a target, like, you can hide alcohol from Nezu, right? Towards like, yeah. And she just goes, "Oh, well, okay."
Okay. And Isella simply gets up, leaves the grabs his little cookie box,
Mm-hmm.
and lays down his racer brew right next to her. Simply walks
Yep.
off and waving his hand, saying, "I'll see you guys tomorrow."
They're gonna say, "See you guys, Aizawa."
And that's where we're gonna end it because we reached 57 minutes, or 52 actually.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone, I hope you guys like this little Laz special, with her mostly now gonna be appearing quite often on this channel. This will be her series, and I will occasionally pop in the help when she needs it.
Yep.
And if you have any questions or you want us to try anything out in the next episode, tell us down below. This is Fox.
And this is Laz.
Have a nice night or day, depending on your time zone.